whose employee died in tunnels could be overturned. I'm Megan Cloherty.
The Anne Arundel County executive asked the new owner of the Capital Gazette not to cut its staff or coverage. I'm Valerie Bonk.
When can you just walk in to get your D.C. driver's license renewed again? It's 10 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. Senate Republicans block an election reform bill that Democrats say is critical to democracy. CBS's Nicole Killian.
Senate Democrats were unable to secure the 60 votes required to overcome a Republican filibuster.
This is all about one thing. Some people don't want some people to vote.
The push for a federal voting rights law comes as 48 states are considering nearly 400 Republican-backed bills that would restrict voting. Across the South, grassroots activists organized freedom rides like those during the Civil Rights Movement, concerned the proposals could again make it harder for people of color at the ballot box.
Democrats say their fight for a voting rights bill is not over. Military commanders could be left out of the loop when it comes to prosecuting sexual assault cases under their jurisdiction. More from CBS's Peter King.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says he supports the recommendation to have independent military lawyers handle sex assault cases instead of military commanders. That recommendation is part of an independent commission's report on sexual assault and accountability, prevention, climate and culture, and victim care and support. The Pentagon has resisted making changes, but Austin and others have said there's been little progress. Changes would have to go through Congress, and Austin says he'll work with lawmakers to make it happen. Peter King, CBS News.
The White House says it will come close, but not hit the president's goal of 70% of adults with at least one COVID shot by July 4th. CBS medical contributor Dr. David Agus on why the pace of vaccinations has slowed.
There's a lot of mis and disinformation out there regarding the vaccine. Information regarding fertility in young individuals, that young individuals don't need it. Information around side effects, that if you priorly had COVID, you don't need the vaccine, all of which are incorrect.
Some Arizona residents prepare to evacuate as the Rafael wildfire spreads. This Flagstaff area man left work early.
Get home, go get my kids. I have a pregnant wife, so that was my first thought. Just get home, grab them, and get ready to rock and roll in case we had to.
In congressional testimony, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says he expects recent price spikes to ease soon and reduce inflation to a sustainable level.
These are factors that will wane over time and that inflation will then move down toward our goals, and we'll be monitoring that carefully.
Complaints about alcohol being delivered to beaches in South Boston have prompted a reminder from the state that it's not allowed to deliver to-go beverages to state parks or beaches. And Meryl Streep is celebrating her 72nd birthday. One of her gifts, a New York City subway stop named in her honor. It's now 72nd Streep. This is CBS News.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skills tests to help you find the right candidates faster. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
10:03 on WTOP, Tuesday evening, June 22nd, 2021. 62 in Bowie and headed down to the 50s late tonight. Good evening, I'm Dimitri Sotis with the top local stories we're following this hour, and lots of new information is coming in even as we're into the later part of the evening. First, the Loudoun County School Board abruptly cut off its public comment period tonight when the crowd became raucous over a proposal that would expand rights of transgender students. The story tonight from WTOP's Dick Iuliano.
The proposal that drew public criticism would provide students restroom access corresponding to the student's gender identity. Transgender athletes would compete based on gender identity, and teachers would be required to use the student's preferred pronouns.
Boys who identify as girls are no different from boys who identify as boys, except in their feelings about themselves.
Former State Senator Dick Black was the final speaker before the public was asked to leave the building.
It's absurd and immoral for teachers to call boys girls and girls boys.
Madam Chair, I move to end public comment.
The school board is scheduled to vote on the policy in August. Dick Iuliano, WTOP News.
The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office tells us that one person was arrested with charges pending and another was written up for trespassing, and this story has become national. New tonight on WTOP. We're learning that Tom Perez, the former chairman of the Democratic National Committee and former labor secretary under President Obama, is expected to launch a bid for Maryland governor as early as tomorrow. This is a couple of sources with knowledge of the campaign speaking with Politico. The governor's election in 2022 will be an open contest because Republican Governor Larry Hogan is term limited. So again, keep your eye out for Tom Perez tomorrow to make an announcement that he is running for governor in Maryland. Full coverage here on WTOP. Also new tonight, and this story was first reported by our Megan Cloherty, the Bethesda man who a jury convicted of murder after his employee's body was found in a network of tunnels underneath the home may have his case overturned. Maryland's highest appeals court just told attorneys it will hear the case for why Daniel Beckwith should go free.
The Maryland Court of Appeals has agreed to hear Daniel Beckwith's attorney's argument that his conviction should be overturned. Megan Coleman says she and state prosecutors will argue their points in November. A jury found Beckwith guilty of depraved heart murder and involuntary manslaughter after firefighters found the body of 21-year-old Askia Kafra in the tunnels he was hired to dig. The Special Court of Appeals overturned the jury's depraved heart conviction already. Beckwith's attorney says she plans to argue, among a few points, that jurors weren't properly instructed before convicting him of involuntary manslaughter. Megan Cloherty, WTOP News.
Anne Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman has sent a letter to the new owner of the Capital Gazette, urging it to keep the paper going as is.
Part of what I hope to accomplish is to shine a light on what's going on here.
His letter details the shooting that killed 5 staff members at the paper almost 3 years ago and asks Alden Global Capital not to make any drastic changes.
We've heard that you are bad news, that you buy papers like ours, lay off staff, cut local news coverage, and squeeze out whatever profit you can.
Pittman invited the company to come to the unveiling of the Guardians Memorial in Annapolis on Monday, honoring those who died in the shooting.
We can grow rather than die.
Valerie Bonk, WTOP News.
Jury selection begins tomorrow at the trial of Jared Ramos, the man who shot and killed 5 people in the Annapolis Capital Gazette newsroom almost 3 years to the day after the tragedy. Ramos already has admitted to the killings in June of 2018. The question the jury will have to decide is his sanity at the time. Stay with us for full coverage here and at WTOP.com. When can you just walk into the DMV again in the nation's capital to get a new driver's license or to do other business related to your car? Mayor Muriel Bowser says you can do that the week of July 19th. A location on M Street Southwest will also be open on specific weekend dates starting June 27th. People have been scrambling when D.C. set a July 1st deadline to renew driver's licenses with appointment-only services at DMV locations. The deadline has been extended to September. Innova Health System tells WTOP that starting September 1st, everyone who works there must get vaccinated against COVID. A spokesperson calls it a necessary step in prioritizing team member and patient safety. This is an issue in hospitals nationwide. We just learned earlier tonight that 150 people just resigned or were fired from a Houston area hospital for refusing to get vaccinated.
Get more out of summer with savings on appliances to simplify and streamline during the Home Depot's 4th of July savings in-store and online. Right now, you'll save a bundle on top appliances like this Samsung laundry pair. Celebrate summer with a laundry upgrade during 4th of July savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only, while supplies last, free delivery on purchases of $396 or more. Valid through July 14th.
From the weekend warriors to the renovation dreamers, Lowe's has you covered. We know you take pride in every project you take on. We share that pride, so we're celebrating with Craftsman Days. Tackle your yard with outdoor power equipment, fix that sink with hand tools and flashlights, and tinker under the hood with mechanics tool sets. Whatever your next project is, you'll find what you need during Craftsman Days. Shop online or in-store at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, U.S. only.